Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here, and today we have the real grade Ava weapon tree system. Now, this actually, well, I got it before the weapon system I reviewed last week, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This thing's a lot more, dare I say, quality or compatible than the last one. Now, I'm just going to jump straight into this thing here. This thing actually has some articulation to it. So the tree here, all these segments with the weapons, they all can rotate. I'd say 360, but they kind of start banging into each other. And there's one piece in particular I want to bring some attention to. It's like kind of like a crane. This thing has like a lot of articulation to it. First of all, this thing can move in and out. And then we have this little toe wincher hook, whatever. This can move, back and forth. Now, there's not anything that you can grab with it, so it's really just a detail type thing, I guess you'd say. And actually, wanted to mention before I forget, this little piece comes off, and there is unfortunately another weapon that cannot fit on the tree itself. It's this spear here. So you can actually kind of shove that inside like so. So it's very interesting how they handled that. And it's actually like this this piece right here. If you can make this out with my fingers there. I tried putting it on top of that, but unfortunately it's not big enough. So if you want to have all the weapons in, that's how you're going to have to handle it. Oh, and I also wanted to mention, well, I'm sure if you guys can make that up. This thing can move up and down. That's more so to take them out, though. And if you can make out this little rocket launcher here, it's very 8th MS Team-esque. This can spin around as well. Now, this weapon's actually kind of strange because the Avas actually can't hold it. And actually, while I'm at it, I might as well take this one out here, because you can actually take off the spearhead here and you can interchange it with a more I guess you say this is more of a trident. I think that's what you kind of call it with me. So yeah, you can make it to this actual spear type of thingy. Now obviously this thing isn't totally just to show off a bunch of cool weapons. You want to put in a bad boy like this as hands. So, I don't know where to start. I guess we'll start off with the spear here. Now the spear, oh, I just popped off a piece of the butt. Okay, well, it's no big deal. I don't plan on showing off its dunk. The spear here, you can't hold this one up all that great. Such a pain getting hands in this thing. Okay, I think I got one backwards. Pretty sure it holds into this one. It's one thing about this kit, you gotta kind of figure out which hand holds this thing better. Boy, I'm just sitting here for 10 minutes trying to put the spear in. There you go. So you can hold the spear in, but it's kind of loose and it falls off. Especially with the awful freaking knife wielding hands. Those things are the worst. And you can't put it in a gun hand because it has a peg in there. So the spear is probably the worst weapon to hold. So that's a little bit disappointing. Actually, very curious as to how the Unit 6 holds its spears, as that's like the only accessory it comes with. But one thing I wanted to mention is from the last weapon set, I actually forgot about this. That's another thing. I'm not sure if I mentioned or not, but that thing had a few weapons that it didn't quite explain how to build and whatnot. You kind of had to improvise it. So I'm actually going to use the other trigger finger hand to try to see if it'll fit. This is the one that is unscathed, and this thing's not going in there. So another dud from that kit. However, I can assure you guys here that will be the last time you'll see anything like that going on. Now, the pistol, I actually never tried holding this with any of the hands yet. However, first go ahead at it. And this thing is as snug as a rug here. So if you ever wanted to see an Ava with a pistol, here you have it. I mean, I guess you can say Unit 8 had a pistol. But it took them like, you know, a decade to get that going. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off. There. We'll put that right back in where it was. So while we're already on this topic, I'll go for another ranged weapon. So we have this assault rifle type weapon here. Looks more assault rifle-ish than a pallet rifle. And I just love this thing. This, honestly, is probably one of the selling points to me. I had to have this thing since I seen that assault rifle. And once again, we're going two for two here. So this thing actually is also very secure. As you can see, I'm grabbing the weapon, doesn't want to fly out. So very impressed with that. And of course, while I'm at it, if you wanted to have this guy going akimbo assault rifles, you can very much do that. Just throw the other pallet rifle in here, and here you have it. So very cool. Very impressed with that. Now, we'll be going on to the next weapon here. This is a weird one. You can actually take the spearhead off of this and then put it in a staff here. So now you have this weird staff rocket launcher thing. I don't know what the heck that's about. And I also forgot to mention, each of these little gray pieces can come out and you can reveal that there's like orange rockets in there. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to just throw that to the side there. So next up, we have this weird thing. I don't even know what to call it. Some sort of blade. If I'm not mistaken, this one also went inside the same hand that you use for the gun. Most of these actually end up using the gun, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe, no, actually a liar. It does come in this hand. If I'm not mistaken. I think you have to hold it this way. There we go. Yeah, that's how you hold it. All right. So you can't hold it from the tip there. I actually remember trying that. It does not stay in, and it is going to be such a pain putting in all the blades. I can't stand these things' hands. Hold these things in with friction, basically, and the little tab falls right out half the time. Ay. There you go. Maybe if I hold at the top, maybe that's the key here. There we go. All right. Hopefully I can get that going a lot more time. So holds in decently like this. It's just the fact this weapon looks kind of awkward. It is molded in just in this silver plastic here, so it looks very cheap. So I might end up trying to paint that or something. You got to do something with that one. So next up we have this sword here. And that's one gripe I'll say about this kit. Everything is just, most of these weapons are just molded in one piece here. I actually colored this blade there silver to help it out a bit. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think this one holds with this hand, yeah. Solid connection. Now for the fingers. Get this one a lot quicker than the last one. Work right here. Stand these fingers. This is going to be the death of me. All right. Well, like I said, it holds in the hand by itself just fine. It's just I can't get that finger to tap in. But moving on to the next weapon here. So I'm trying to fly through this. I'm going to be here all day otherwise. Ooh, this chainsaw's. Let me see if I can get it out easier. There we go. All right. So a little hook broke. Didn't break off, but came off. but it comes right back on, so no big deal. So next up we have the chainsaw here. I believe this one also holds into that piece there too. Just like I said, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so once again, holds all right. Now, if I had the other holding hand, I maybe could kind of try to grab it from the top there, but if you have the grasping hands, you could probably work that out as well. So, as you can see so far, as opposed to the last set I looked at, these things hold in much better. So once again, there's another weapon I was molding just in gray. Had an orange handle here to give it some color, but I colored the top of the handle there gray just to break up the monotony, and the blade there silver. So this one you can hold at a couple of places. You can hold it right here, as you can see, just fine, without me having to sandwich the other part in. And this part just fine as well. So I'm actually starting to run out of time, so I'm just going to stop trying to wedge that piece in. I know it's going to look a little crappy, but, you know, you get the point there. Now, this one I had issues with. This one, unfortunately, does not hold in so well. It's just kind of too big. Actually, no, it's holding up just fine now. Hold on. I remember last time I tried holding this thing, it fell off. I could have sworn it fell off. I don't know if I maybe didn't get it in the right place or not. So now it's kind of wants to fall. It held on just fine a second ago. Now I'm curious. This would help out. Let me even get it in there. Yeah, no, it's not really holding. But you could probably fit it with that one, as I just kind of seen there. It held on for it pretty good for a second there, then it fell off. Weird. But anyway, now we have our last weapon here. And this is a very complicated one. And this is also kind of actually, honestly, the end of it, really. This, it's like, first and foremost, you're going to need the machine gun here. This is kind of like a little sniper. It's similar to the one you'd find on Unit 8. Except you actually have to kind of piece things together. And actually, let me grab this thing off. Because this thing has like a bunch of attachment points you can put onto the weapon itself. This is like a scope. Actually, you're supposed to put this on first, I believe. And you just kind of, you can see that. Oops. You run it down that track there, and you plug it into the hole there. Then you can take this piece off here. This is like some sort of a scope or something. I don't know what the hell this is. Actually, you're supposed to put it in through there. There we go. And what you do is, of course, you plug that right back into the hand. Sandwich that in there. And you have like some sort of, you have like a giant sniper rifle. Of course, you'd have to kind of fiddle around with that thing to get it to hold it up. It's not very heavy either. This thing is not really drooping down too much. It's just these arms are kind of loose in general, but you might be able to work with that. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is this thing is, if you plug this all the way inside this thing, it gets stuck. I had to freaking jimmy that thing out. So be careful with that. And then next you have this knife here, which you can't hold if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so you can hold it in the hand just fine. Not going to sandwich it in, but it can hold. So once you put it in, then you just fiddle with the other back half of the hand. So you could, of course, put it in there as a bayonet. And then there's another piece in here. It's kind of wedged in the back. And then there you go. Now you have like kind of this thing you can clasp onto a grip. Now, one thing I wanted to mention about this kit, this is like a negative, is if you see all these red lights on this thing, a lot of these didn't fit in very well, and I had to glue them. But otherwise, this thing was a pretty simple build. As you can see, everything held in just fine. So I will 100% recommend this thing. It'll need a little bit of painting to get everything looking good. And some of the weapons don't quite hold right, but they do fit. You know, unlike the last version or kit where nothing fit hardly at all and you had to modify it, this thing is good to go straight out of the box. So I thank you guys so much for watching. This is Rare Model Reviews. Take care.